Hey y'all, welcome back to Miniature Game Montage. I am Jimmy. Today we're going to talk about Adepticon, what I came back with, and give you an update on some of the games that we play. Alright, if you've never been to Adepticon or any kind of convention before, my first time was last year. I actually made a video about my first time going to Adepticon. I gotta tell you, it is an amazing time. You just meet so many fellow hobbyists that enjoy similar things as you, from playing games to painting miniatures. It's a great place to meet people as well that are in this hobby, and I happened to run into Doug from 2+ Tough, the guys over at Mini Wargaming, Mini Wargamer Dave and Matthew, Scary from Scarredcast. I talked to Uncle Adam, and Peachy, who was one of my favorite people to meet. He was just absolutely incredible. Who you see Peachy as on YouTube, that is him. He's just a genuine guy. Also, family of gamers and numerous others. You also get to meet a lot of the companies that we purchase products from, do business with. The Army Painter was there. It felt like there were more vendors there this year than last year. In the Baird Center there in Milwaukee, everything just felt so much bigger than last year. And it is a bigger space, but, and I've got no data on this, it felt like that there was a lot more vendors there and a lot more people there. So I did have the opportunity to meet with the guys over at Factory Fortress who are making Trench Crusade. I got to have a conversation with Thomas Piernan and meet his team. It has been absolutely fantastic to see what they have created. In the Trench Crusade booth, they actually had props like an old bolt-action rifle that they had customized. They also had helmets and gear that you could put on and take pictures with. All in all, just a very cool experience. If you have the finances and the means, I would certainly recommend going to a con near you. But let's get to the good stuff. What did I come back with? And my list was pretty small. I only had 2 major items. The first of which is Port Royal by Firelock Games. Port Royal has to do with the events in Jamaica with an earthquake in 1692 in the town of Port Royal. At the time, it was a bustling pirate haven. The earthquake came through in 1692 and really destroyed a vast majority of the city and a lot of the people in it. So what this game is the Buccaneers coming back and assembling their crews and fighting over any kind of treasure that they can find that's left on Port Royal while they're rebuilding things and that. So it looks like a really fun game. It is a skirmish game. It is played on a 2x2, and I am really looking forward to it. Small crew size, but it features a campaign system, which is a question that I always ask folks about, is how is your campaign system? This is going to be where you have a captain, you form a crew, and throughout the battles they will gain experience and risk injury and even death in each scenario, which I absolutely love. Now, while I was there, I did ask for a demo on this game. I was a bit disappointed, I guess, for a lack of better terms. I had sent an email over to Firelock Games prior to Adepticon, and I just said, hey, look, I'm going to be there. Is there any way that I could get a one-on-one with somebody and really walk through the mechanics of this game and even film it? Because that will allow me to share it with you guys, 1, but 2, it'll help me just really understand the game mechanics a little better than just reading the book. I filled out their form online. It said, hey, look, somebody will come back and contact you. And unfortunately, I never heard back from anyone. So I went to Adepticon and at the booth, and they have various people that are working the booths. Nobody's going to be there all day, every day, but I don't think that anyone from Firelock was actually at the booth, at least when I was there. They had representatives from Griffin's Lair, which I believe is a retailer, if I'm not mistaken. The gentleman there did a good job giving me kind of the 10,000 foot view. Carry the 1, that's 3,000 some odd meters for some of you folks. But he did a really good job explaining the core mechanics of the game and how it is, I believe, an I go, you go kind of a system. But while your opponent is moving things, you will have the opportunities to make reactions. So that is kind of how the game works to keep both players engaged, which is also something that I really like. The box comes with a lot of models, included some like wounded and dead models, which I think is really cool, and it's based on a D10 system, which I'm really starting to lean to with a lot of the games that I'm playing. Up next, I had a fantastic time over at the Mephidius Entertainment booth, and I purchased Fallout Factions. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, if it was Tim or Ted. I know he was from Tennessee and had a big southern accent to him, but he walked me through a full turn of Fallout Factions. This is the Nuka World set, and I had an amazing time. You could tell that he was a D&D player, maybe even a dungeon master, because as we were taking the actions and moving our miniatures around the table, he did a fantastic job just capturing my imagination. It is, again, a skirmish style game that is going to be on a 2x2. It is D10 based, and in this game it's 2 action based, so very similar to a lot of the skirmish games that we play. You'll be rolling 2d10 or a d10 and trying to get equal to or lower than your number threshold in order to succeed on just about every check in the game. The game also features alternating activations, and from what the team told me, if you have any models or sets from the Wasteland Warfare version of Fallout, those miniatures will be compatible in this world as well. So those were mainly my 2 big purchases from Adepticon. I'm such a sucker for starter boxes because if I enjoy the game, it just gives you a great point to catapult into it. So I'm really looking forward to getting some miniatures painted up and playing these games, see how they go, and you'll get to see those on the channel in the near future. Now, onto some questions that I've been kind of reading in the comments. I do read all of the comments, and I want to address some things about some of the games that we play. First off, we'll look at Necromunda, because I've got a passionate following for Necromunda, and I love Necromunda. That game is not going anywhere. I know that I've only released, I think, 2 battle reports this year. I am going a little slower than normal because, one, we're getting to the end of our current campaign. You'll get to see all of that kind of come to fruition. And then, in the background, I've been trying to get a lot of stuff ready for a Hive Secundus campaign, which we want to launch after this one. And that is taking a little more time than I originally thought, because I'm using 2-inch insulation foam, and I am trying to cut holes down into the insulation foam to get some pits and things like that to make it just really immersive. I've got that to do, and I've got to continue painting up models for it as well. So no, Necromunda's not going anywhere. It is just slowed down a little bit as I want to be able to go from one campaign right into another without having that month or 2 downtime that I've had in the past. Next up, Trench Crusade. I see comments a lot that, you are seeing a lot of Trench Crusade on the channel, and that is correct. I love Trench Crusade. I think it is a fantastic game. I'm really having a lot of fun playing it. Again, it has those campaign elements that I really like, the whole risk and reward that carries over from game to game. The models, I think, are incredible. I freshly built my trenches, and I am just really enjoying that game at the moment. So you are seeing quite a bit of it as well. Next on Trench Crusade, the views have been absolutely insane. And if you remember in December, I celebrated 20,000 subscribers, which was a huge milestone for my channel. And my channel was growing already, but here I think it was over 26,000, and that is some pretty incredible growth. And in addition, the Trench Crusade content that I've been putting out there has smashed all of the records for my previous content, something that as a small channel, that's just not something that I'm really used to. And it's been kind of neat because there's a lot of people that are looking for information on Trench Crusade and want to see more battle reports on it and things. So to be able to deliver on some of that, it makes me feel really good. Now, the team at Factory Fortress have been busy, and my goal was to record Thomas Piernan's seminar at Adepticon. Unfortunately, that did not work out. But you saw, I'm sure, the map that was revealed, and for the game, you can just tell that it is a passion project for these guys. I really got that from talking to Thomas about it, and it is only going to get better. So Trench Crusade is something that I'm having fun with and enjoying, and I'm also looking forward to what else is coming in the future. Now, if you follow me on social media, on either Instagram or Facebook, you will see some posts out there on some other games that we're playing. Frostgrave is something that is on my radar. I am looking to paint up some wizards and then get some things ready. I'd like to get a board ready for Frostgrave to make it really immersive and narrative. Joseph McCullough's rules have really kind of gripped me. I've been having a lot of fun with the Silver Bayonet. It doesn't get a ton of view traction, but again, it's all about having fun. I'd like to do something similar for Frostgrave, creating a similar kind of narrative. There's also a secret project that I've been working on and painting some miniatures here and there, and that is War Master. That is, if you don't remember or don't know, War Master is an older version, not quite a version of Warhammer Fantasy, but it's based in the same world, and it is 10mm. So I feel like so many people out there are constantly going to the bigger stuff. You know, I want the biggest miniatures, I want the big Titans and Warhounds and all this stuff. I really enjoy the smaller scale of things. When I look across a table, a 6x4 table, and I see just tons of infantry and troops all lined up in ranks and file, that really does something for my imagination. And looking at War Master, that brings me back to a point in my childhood that I have difficulty explaining. And I've never played War Master, but that's when I was really into what is now the old world, and it just really does something for me. So I think in the near future, not in the near future, probably about 3 to 4 months from now, you'll start to see some War Master content on the channel, and I'm really looking forward to kind of painting that picture of what the battlefield is going to look like and seeing cavalry thundering down the hill, charging into men-at-arms. That is something that I've really been passionate about, so you will see that shine through. And last, I want to talk about Mini Wargaming's Ravage Star. I have had some miniatures of theirs for about a year now, since last Adepticon actually, and I've been actively trying to paint some of those up, but again, with the mass army battles, it just takes so much time to get a faction painted up. That is kind of why I steer away from Warhammer 40k. And Age of Sigmar, because to get warbands painted up, it just takes a significant amount of time for me. Instead of painting, 20 or 30 models for an Age of Sigmar army as a perfect example, I could have, 3 warbands painted up and have a lot of various interactions between them. So Ravage Star is a game that has been on my radar, and in talking with Mini Wargamer Dave and Matthew, I really got re-energized about the game, and I've went back to painting those miniatures. And when I got home just over the weekend, I was able to get 6 models knocked out on Sunday, and I'm currently working on 7 more, so I'm really going to give that some focus to get that knocked out. I do think the game is going to be a lot of fun, so that is something that you can expect on the channel potentially in the next 4 to 6 weeks. As always, if you see any painting videos or anything like that released on my channel, it is really just previews of what's to come. So there will be a lot more coming down the road. I'm really excited for the rest of 2025, and I hope you will be with me on the ride. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.